this is a need of the hour. Learning Sanskrit is the need of the hour for the whole country. In fact, it is not just for IISc or Bangalore. Why do we need to learn what is there in the language? To start with, the efforts that are being done by the Sanskrit Sangha and tutored by Sri Anand Acharya is a wonderful effort. You should know the value of somebody doing this. Krishna says to Arjuna when he explains Karma Yoga to him, he says, Yad yad acharati sreshtaha tat tadeve taro janaha sayat pramanam kurte lokas tat anuvartati. He says, Yad yad acharati sreshtaha. Sreshtaha is our guru. When great people take up actions which are worthy of that time and circumstance, what common people do is that take it up upon themselves also, so that one day they can also do great things. Sanskrit as a language needs that kind of a following today. Sanskrit as a language has actually given us so much, and now it needs a lot back from the present group of people that has inherited. We have inherited this culture because we are born into this place. This group of people, it is upon us that the responsibility falls of automatically carrying this forward. In what direction can we take it forward? First of all, Sreshtaha, why is this person who is teaching Sanskrit so great? Not only great because he comes all the way from, driving from Kengeri in his small scooter. I heard about that story. Not only because he comes driving all the way daily to teach, but also because he drives the language of Sanskrit into the beautiful minds who have come here, very diligently come to the class and drives it in. What is a language itself? What is language? Is it just a mode of communication? It's just a mode of communication. If it is just a mode of communication, one can just, get done with, okay, I'm comfortable with English, so let me just speak English. I'm comfortable with, let's say, German, and each one chooses, and then that's a language. If a language is not spoken by many, why just, awaken the language back again? Is language only a mode of communication? Not really. Language is much deeper than that. Language to a culture is what rain is to humanity. Language to a culture is what rain is to humanity. Just like water from the rain replenishes rivers, all the water bodies, and then it carries this water along so that land flourishes. There is vegetation around for animals, for human beings, for birds, for trees, for everything vegetation. There is richness provided because of this water, this rain. That is what language does to a culture. It spreads like a river flowing around and nourishing humanity, civilizations to grow, people to have commerce, have philosophies, have discussions, have lives, spring up in exuberance, have politics, have sports. Everything happens because of language. In fact, next to mind, it is the language that separates Manava from animals. What separates us from animals, next to mind, is the language. So language is a representation, it's a carrier of culture. Language, is it just alphabets? Not really. Alphabets are just like, a piece of metal, for example. Some piece of metal is stainless steel, some piece of metal is gold. It's just a piece of metal. It just carries that much value. The alphabets carry that much value. when you etch out from that piece of metal fine-tuned parts which then go in to make a larger watch, let's say a Rolex watch, which shows you time whenever you need to, its value has gone through a samskara. The metal has gone through the samskara of etching out the parts from it so that it becomes something of a 10 rupee metal is now probably $1 million. That samskara is what language brings through marriage with culture. A culture grows with the language and the language feeds the culture. This is something which is very, very consciously interdisciplinary. In Bharat, in the Desha of Bharat, not only what is politically India today, today English is spread all around the world. But if you see, probably 1,000 years ago, before we had these invasions, Sanskrit was, even until 500, 600 years ago, Sanskrit was spread all the way from Gandhara, all the way to Indonesia and Thailand, so many. Let us not make it a political discussion, but this is reality of a language. A language which was well spread, which was part of the ethos of this place, where people communicated, where people jumped up in joy with this language, jumped up, people went into misery. When they cried in Sanskrit. That was the reality of Sanskrit in this land. That Sanskrit today needs humans to get rejuvenated. Largely, if you look at the literature of Sanskrit, there's nothing, no other language can come parallel to this. Largely, the literature of Sanskrit can be categorized under Shruti, Smriti, Samhita, Itihasa, Purana, Shastras. Shruti, Smriti, Samhita, Itihasa, Purana, Shastras. This is the large categorization in which you can put the Sanskrit literature. This is not 1 day, 2 days. It's not even a few hundreds of years, not even a few thousands of years. It's through millennia this have evolved and gone into these, filled into these categorizations. And the amount of literature that we have in this, take Shrutis for example. Shrutis are those which were heard, Shruti. These are Paurishayas, which did not come through a human, but Rishis, Rishi, those who saw, those who could see. Tapasvis, they were able to get it and they passed it on with selflessness. Nobody says that I wrote this, it's given by me. Vedas are Paurishayas, Vedas, Upanishads. Now look at what has Veda given. No other language has helped humanity. Today we talk about science, but there is a much greater level of science which has been given by this language, is the Atma Tattva. The Atma Tattva, which is the fulcrum of, if there is one thing which it's not Om or it's not any other, if there is one thing that Krishna says, Sutre Maniganaya. I am the sutra which goes through all these manis, different forms, different shapes, different colors, different holes, all kinds. I am the sutra. What is that I am? I am Atma Brahma. Aham Brahma Asmi. Tat Tvamasi. Ekam Eva Advitiyam Brahma. The Mahavakyas. Nowhere else can you even find the beginnings of this science. Even today, we have gone to nanotechnology, we have gone to femtosecond and probably lower, shorter times. We have gone to cosmic level understanding nebulae, so-called understanding nebulae. We are yet to begin to understand what connects, what is the thread that connects all of existence. Sutre Maniganaya. In one simple sentence, the avatar gives as to what is the beauty. What is the language that brings us that samskara? That language has given the Mahavakyas, it has given the understanding of Arishad Vargas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsarya. It has also given the understanding of the Chaturvika Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. In science we study about equilibrium. Everything is in equilibrium. Everything is a steady state process, it's an equilibrium. What is an equilibrium? It's a duality. It's not one, but one existing presumably as two. And this is pulling this towards this side, and this is pulling this towards this side. That equilibrium is set up by two forces. One force that pulls it towards the right, one towards the left. Existence, humanity, is pulled towards one, Arishad Vargas pulls towards one side, and the Purusharthas pull towards the other side. What simplicity of concept! How much easier can something be given? What has transcended? See, Nachiketa goes to Yama, and he is at the doorstep of Yama. He says, "Look, I have come to Yama. Forbidden, coming in the human form directly to Yamaloka is forbidden." So Yama asks, "Sorry, why did you come? Please go away. My job is in jeopardy. Somebody else will take my job. I will have to go and find another job. So please go away." He says, "No, I have come here. So answer my question." His question is very simple. He does not say, "Okay, give me the answer from." His intention is very clear. Give me the secret of life and death and sustenance. He does not ask that way. He says, "What they say is true, is it true?" He asks Yama, "What they say is true, is it true? Tell me, give me the answer." He knows this fellow is going to go there only. Ultimately, he is going to go there only. He says, "Sashtanga Pranam, please go. Give me the answer, otherwise you are losing your job." And Yama says, "Okay, fine. I will cut a deal. I will make you realize. I will not tell you. I will give you the diksha, but through realization. I will not tell you in words. If you want to say it in words, you say it." Nachiketa, so that conversation is what comes out and dually. The realization, once it hits him, he puts it into words, he tries to put it into words. Annam brahmeti vyajanat, annadhyeva khalvimani bhutani jayante, anne najatani jivanti, annam prayanta visam visantiti, tad vijñāya punareva varunam vitaramupasasara, adhihi bhagavo brahmeti, Agumho vacha tapasa brahma vijijñāsasva. He realizes, oh my God, everything is annam. Everything is food. What is the meaning of that? One is food for the other. And everything is food for something else. Today, whether you realize it or not, you are eating bacteria. You are killing bacteria, you are consuming bacteria. Several microbes, you are just consuming them as part of your existence. Tomorrow when you are not there, when that Atma is gone, the body is only existent here, they will be there. Whether it is a planet, huge galaxy, gets eaten up by a black hole. Everything has the same birth, sustenance, forms do not exist. They have an ephemeral existence, just like how a wave comes, stays for a while, and then feels like, hey, I am a wave, and then falls back for another wave to just come and take its place. The wave, as long as it realizes it's actually the ocean itself, there is no misery. The moment it gets that ego of, oh, I am the wave, it's complete misery. That tattva became annam brahme iti vyajana. Annam danindya tat pratam pranova annam. The ultimate realization of that sheath called Annamaya Kosha, he realizes it. Then he realizes it's not only one sheath. There are several. There are 5 levels of this sheet which covers a human existence or any existence from realizing that Aham Brahmasmi. What are they? Annamaya Kosha. Higher than that is the Pranamaya Kosha. Higher than that is the Manomaya Kosha. Higher than that is the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And finally it is Anandamaya Kosha. Even that is a Kosha. But you go towards Ananda. That Ananda, when he realizes words stop, he explains to that with words in Veda. But then after that, he loses words are not able to explain, and then music is born into Sanskrit. Samagana etat samagayannaste ha voha voha vo ahamannam 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 ahaman ado o ahaman ado o ahaman nada. Samagana, it udbhava, it generates out of him. What is it? That is the ultimate ananda that he gets from all this. He says, Ahamannam, everything what you think is outside is inside. He realizes that as part of his diksha. Music is born into Sanskrit. Every aspect, this language, in fact, Sanskrit is the only language which has padam, matra. See, you will have a, not just as any other language, but you will also have intonations where, anutishtantu mavava, when you say it, when you have any word, it has intonations also, which goes up, which goes down, which has longer duration, which has 1.5 matras. These are specific. Each one has value there also. So, a unique language. You go to the Smritis also. Manusmriti. So many dharma shastras. Enormous amount of literature. In fact, there is not a single literary grammarian, you take English, German, French, Latin, Greek, any grammarian who they all sat together during the, about 100 to 1600 AD, sat together and then they charted out proper linguistic basis for their languages. No grammarian has ever done anything without acknowledging Sanskrit. Every one of them acknowledges that thanks to Panini, thanks to the way he has, simplified linguistics, simplified the understanding of how to provide a medium for communication, provide a medium for understanding this, literally understanding existence in terms of words. A child is born and it wants to say, I'm having pain. For that also it's I want food. For that also it's You're smothering me too much. For that also it's For everything the child is only That is all we would be if there was no language. The uniqueness of this language is it brings that samskara, which is impossible to find anywhere, in the simplest of possible forms, in ways by which even a normal, common man can talk about. Today we are talking about all this English and different languages, but it was so natural to talk about let that Atma being get some Shanti. Atma, Shanti, where did he get these words from? For a common man to say, such was the beauty of this language. It brought philosophy to crossroads. You take Idihasas, There is no itihasa even to date which can equal even an inch of Ramayana or Mahabharata. This is not just beating ourselves, not like that. But this is truth. Why? Is it because of the plot? No. Plot you can find several. You can go to, all this modern stories. You can find Harry Potters and different kind of things. You can create plots and all. No. But where man is made to transcend instead of going down to Dhanava towards Daiva. The whole plot is around Dharma. The whole plot is the concept of Dharma itself. There is no equivalent of the word Dharma anywhere. One single word, Dharma, Sanskrit word, it does not have an equivalent in any language. And if you want, beauty in language, you see, Ramayana, several people have given. Vedanta Desika has given Raghuvira Gadhya. It's a Gadhyam. And Sanskrit also has this meter. Vidita kila shastra sudha jalate mahito panishad katita tamite hridaye kalaye vimalam charanam avashankara deshika me charanam. Tell me one language which has music and meter to it. Totakashta. Padmapada wrote this in the Totaka meter. Vidita kila shastra sudha jalate. Meter as part of language itself. So if you look at Vedanta Desika's Ramayana, he gives, Rama has just killed Tataki. After that, he is coming with Vishwamitra, he is walking along, and he explains in one single line, one gadhya, one simple line. I'll tell you how simple it is. In that line, he explains Ahalya Shapa Vimochan. You must have heard about Ahalya Shapa Vimochan. How many of you have not heard it? Ahalya will not go into the whole story, but she is turned into a stone and she is awaiting the Rama's, sparsha. And how Rama comes there, he gives it in one single word. Today we talk about rap music and all, right? Listen to this. Jata kirana sakala dara jatila natapati mukuta natana padu vibhuta saridati bahulambudu kalana lalita padaja upamujita nijapujana nijapujana jagato paladanu vichara paramu munivara ivati Sanskrit is a language which has translated today. Whatever we see as new has been there thousands of years ago. Of course, Vedanta Desika is few hundreds of years ago only, but such Jatakirana Sakala Darajatila Natapati Makuta. He says he comes along like Ganges flowing down the head of Shiva, and he's just flowing around. Gently he came and touched. It is not even touch, it's a sparsha, which is the gentlest of, and then she comes to life. You want poetry, you want prose, you want spirituality in that, you want message in that. That is the beauty of this language. You want to, if you look at Mahabharata, Arjuna is distraught. He says, I am karpanya doshopa hatasvabhava prichami tvam dharmasam mudha cheta yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhidam me sishyasteham chadimam tvam pratam. He says, karpanya doshopa hatasvabhava. I am ridden with this kripanam. Kripana is doubt. I am hit by doubt. In spite of having you, Krishna, at this moment, Gandhivam samsate hasta. It is just slipping my hand. I am the Gandhivi, but all that is gone, Krishna. Why? Because I am seeing somebody else in front of me. They are all my Bhishma, Drona, Prabhakaran. Everybody is in front of me, and how am I going to fight all this? Why are you stupidly talking, arguing about something which makes no sense? Vishame samupasthitam, anarya jushtam, asvargyam, akirtikaram Arjuna. I mean, in today's this thing, what you are saying about your Guruji chiding you in the class, don't speak if ever he chided you. Krishna was chiding Arjuna. Kutastva Kasmalamitam. And he says, what is the essence? Why is there any distress at all? Sukha dukkhe same kritva. See, he says, he gives so many yogas and different kinds of nivritti for his situation, but he also defines his situation. See, sangat sanjayate kamaha, kama krodho vijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti bhramsat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati arjuna. He says, first thing that you stop from doing is don't let your senses, the five senses, to actually go into observation of anything. I'm sorry, am I taking too much time? No. I'll try to wind up in like 5 minutes. He says, you are putting your mind, your senses, the moment you put your senses into any object, Arjuna, remember this, it will pull you. The nature of material existence is that is the Maya that is created in this. You will be pulled. The whole senses. So stop. A child, when it is born, right, you give it milk. After some time you decide that, okay, solid food, okay, fine, let's give some solid food. You try to give some solid food, you be very careful about the amount of carbon, amount of salt, amount of sugar, and then you give it, first time you give it, you just spit it on your face, because it doesn't want it, it's happy with what it was having, the child is having. But then once you give that salt, once you have given that sugar, next time you try to give without that will be. That is where Krishna says, once you give the senses something to even look upon, oh Arjuna, you had it. Stop it there. Once you stop it there, then there is no krodha, kama. Sangat sanjayate kama. Then there is no desire. There is no question of desire, and there is abstinence. Where is that philosophy coming from? It comes from through samsara. Every of these, the highest exalted, there is no other language, no other philosophy that has even thought beyond what is good, what is bad. What is good, what is bad? A doctor cuts a stomach, will you call it good or bad? The knife is used, a skin is cut, is it good or bad? Still philosophies struggle to explain this. Then how do you call it good or bad? Then, it is depending upon situation. There is no good or bad. It is dharma. The philosophy of dharma, where does it come from? That philosophy, that ethos, that consciousness has been developed hand in hand with this culture and language. That is the importance of this language of Sanskrit. And today, whether we like it or not, as Bharatiyas, see, unfortunately, all this is, Bhagavad Gita, religion, Hinduism, Islam. See, the other day I was giving a talk at one of the schools as I was a chief guest for their school annual day. I was giving the talk and I was I don't remember what I was giving about. It was, I quoted a few from Gita, Bhagavad Gita, and told about what is the importance of nurturing nature. You won't believe it, at the end of the talk, 2 Muslim families came and they were so appreciative. They said, thank you, this is the message that is so important. Religion is a very, very primitive byproduct of